Welcome. Today we're going to discuss the technique thundering hammers and some of the more important concepts, principles, rules, theories, and strategies of the technique. So let's start out with the strategy. What is the main strategy of thundering hammers? Well, obviously, divert the attack, counter, make them bend forward so we can take advantage of their obscure zone or their back. So let's talk about how we actually do that. We're going to do that by rule number one, always establishing our base, but this brings in the concept of reading. I have to read this person's aggression. Depending on his aggression dictates whether I'm stepping back into my stance or whether I'm going to be stepping forward into my stance. But this also brings in the concept of reading their position, not just their aggression. I have to keep in mind of where this hand is. If this hand was in the middle, I can't commit to thundering hammers. It's going to get blocked, right? But if it's high or low, I am now able to choose thundering hammers. So let's talk about a couple other rules with this first move, which is our block. In order to be meet it, remember we don't want to wait for the hand to hit us so we can get to the elbow. We want to meet it. I want to go straight towards it. The other rule, anytime we're on the outside of the arm, we want to be at or above the elbow. So now that we talked about this, let's talk about how we're actually delivering the strike. So this is not using torque like we're swinging a 2x4. The idea of the torque is for alignments so that we can deliver backup mass and gravitational opposition. We're trying to strike up at the 45 with our forearm. So the way to think about this is your pivot point is going to be your knuckles, and you're engaging your step and your body so that we can deliver this strike, again, up at that 45. Remember that backup mass and gravitational marriage, both are done through alignments. So the idea here is to line everything up, keep the weapon in front of us, and then deliver that shot up at that 45. So now let's talk about a couple other concepts. The outer rim theory. The outer rim means you have an oval shape from your eyebrows to your groin, shoulder width apart. This is the zone that we typically care about or we want to keep our weapons within. So if you notice what's happening with my left hand, I'm starting to go outside my outer rim. Why would we do that? Well, depending on your skill level and considerations. I have him bent down. I'm not too concerned about what he's doing. I can take the time to get more path of travel if I needed to. If I'm more skilled and I don't need it, I don't have to go outside my outer rim. Which brings in the next concept, line of sight. If I do need more path of travel, I don't want to go to the point where I'm now losing line of sight with my target. I still want to maintain line of sight to what I'm going to be hitting. So now let's talk about the next part, which would be the actual strike with the hammer. But notice we have another rule. Don't leave any loose extremities out to get you, or unchecked. So in this case, our right arm's picking up the check to his right arm, and our left knee is picking up the check to his right knee. So now let's talk about how we're delivering this hammer. Again, using gravitational marriage, we need alignments. The proper way to get the alignment here is by anchoring our elbow. So remember that anchored elbows are your friends. We typically talk about this defensively because they give us more margin for error and more zones of protection. But right now we're using it so that we can deliver more power by using our core or our body to enhance the strike. Which brings in the next concept of mirroring. Anything we can do with our left, we can then do with the right. Now notice while we're doing the right, again, following that rule of keeping the check, we're now switching. The left hand's grabbing the arm, the right knee's checking the right knee. Now, the other thing to consider here is, again, the right hand. You don't have to go outside your outer rim and lose line of sight. The idea would be to come straight up so that we can go straight down. So this brings in our last concept we're going to talk about, which are focal points. So a focal point is where we're starting to strike a specific target with a specific point. In this case, we're doing the opposite of that. We're using surface. So the idea is to spread the power throughout the entire neck rather than a fixed point because of where we're striking and the effect that we're trying to get. So now that we talked about some of the rules, concepts, principles, and theories, let's actually apply it so you can see it done executed. Up. We hope this video helps you understand the American Kenpo system a little bit better. Thank you very much.